The next storyteller we have is someone who, yep, I'm going to do this. I just met her recently. I did not meet her online, I met her through a mutual friend. I asked Nadirah to send me her bio, and she was like, well, I'm a photographer. I shoot people. Nadirah Zakariyah.
She needs some help?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm kind of nervous.
Hey,
Wow, what tough acts to follow.
You just said that one.
Michelle, you're amazing. Woo! And Elaine and Abby. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is kind of fun. Okay, so basically the other day, someone dear told me, Nadi, I can jump at you anywhere in the world and you'll be fine. Any situation will be okay. And then I thought to myself, like, wait a minute. I mean, it comes so natural for me to just like throw myself into situations where, you know, I'm not comfortable and I kind of enjoy it. And it occurred to me that not everybody can do that. And then I thought, like, why? Where did that kind of courage or bravery, where did it come from? And I thought and I thought and I thought, and then there has to be like a moment in life, in everybody's life, where something happens, and then had it not happened, you would turn out to be differently. And then I remembered, and I think this has to do a lot with like why I enjoy going into these different situations. Is when I was 8 years old, my whole family moved from Bandar Barbagi to Texas. My mom decided to do her PhD, and then she brought all her kids with her, 5 kids. My oldest sister, I think 15. My brother must have been 13 going on 14, and then an 11-year-old, and me an 8 years old, and then my little sister 3. My dad worked in KL, so she brought all of us. She was like, I'm not leaving my kids, I'm bringing them with me, and I'm gonna, you know, be with them. So anyway, moving on with the story, first day of school came. Now, little Nadi, 8-year-old Nadi, did not know English at all. Like, in Bangi, we spoke Malay. Like, nowadays, you see like 4-year-olds and just spitting out English, like it's their first language. It's kind of amazing. But all my, you know, older siblings, they had basic English. They went to, you know, junior high, whatever. But I, you know, that's all that. And then, so, I don't know why my parents, my dad came to send us, you know, like, to the US. And first day of school, for some reason, they decided, my mom and dad, to personally send my kaka, abang, and my other kaka, like, night to go to their school, but me, they decided to put me on the bus.
Oh, no.
I mean, like, at that point, I was like, okay, sure, I'll get on the bus. And then, but it was, I wasn't scared. But okay, whatever, I get on the bus. Luckily, our apartment, it was actually a 2-bedroom apartment, kind of like incredible how she was able to fit everyone in. Was the last stop before reaching the school. So like I knew like the next stop would be okay, this is where I get off. Like, and the bus driver was actually the coach at the school, so everybody had to get off. So I get off and I'm like, okay, now what? I'm just like, I don't know where to go. It's like I've never been to this place before. And it was like I think we had just arrived like a week before, so I was still like kind of jet lagged, kind of like everything was super foreign. We were in Texas, so even though they were speaking English, it was kind of like more foreign than it was, like with the twang and everything. And then all these teachers were like, I guess were like trying to figure out what my name was or like where I was at. I didn't know. I was just like, and I don't know. And then like, you know, a few hours they figured out, they found, oh, this is a Malaysian kid that's like in the 2nd grade class with Mrs. Womack, whatever. I ended up in class. And then later on, I think after lunch or whatever, mom and dad came and then, you know, settled my registration, whatever. But then it's like, I never understood why they decided to put me on that bus. But they didn't put my other siblings, you know, maybe because it wasn't a bus for their school. I don't know. But, and then I actually asked my mom a few months ago, like, Mom, why? Why did you do that to me? That's kind of not fair. She was like, I don't know, I don't remember. But thinking back, I'm kind of glad she did that. I was angry for a bit, like, why would you do that? But then it's like, if she didn't do that, I don't think I would be the person that I am today. that little moment, I thank them very much for throwing me in that bus and kind of just like, I think one day if I ever have a kid, I'm just gonna run along. You'll figure it out. There'll be, nice people out there that will take care of you like they took care of me. So I think that moment kind of like shaped me who I am for other events that happened in my life later on. So I think that's where bravery came from. Fast forward, I don't know, like 18 years, whatever. I go to art school for the first time in the United States. And I'm super excited. I was going to be a graphic designer. I went to art school. I was going to study graphic design. As a graphic design student, we had to all take photography for non-majors. Now, I don't know. I never wanted to be a photographer. I don't know anything about photography. I only shot with like toy cameras or like digital cameras, whatever. I didn't know what the hell an SLR was. Everybody in class already took photography in high school, so they knew. But I was kind of excited. Yeah, this is kind of cool, like a new medium, whatever. But of course, in the class, the teachers had to teach from basic, like what is a shutter speed and ISO, all these technical bits about the camera. So for the first, few months, first few assignments, I was more kind of like getting to know my tool, this new medium. I didn't really think about my subject. I was just like really excited. Whoa, I can take a picture with this, okay. And then I go into the dark room and like, whoa, I can like develop my own, film and then print, like really, really technical stuff. And then midterm comes along and then we have like one-on-one sessions with our professors to see like how well we're doing. And I'm really excited because I'm like, yeah, my images came out on my paper and it's like all this hard work. And I was like, I'm gonna have a good one-on-one session with him. Walk up, and then he's like, Nadirah, I can tell you something. Yeah, you're boring. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean I'm boring? And then, because I was like, I didn't know, I thought it was gonna be cool. And then he's like, yeah, your pictures. I'm like, oh. I mean, I was taking like pictures of like leaves, like water, like frozen in time with like fast shutter speed. But then I like vowed to myself, like, you're never gonna be boring ever again. And then so like after that, like for my final project, I was like, okay, anything but boring. Like researched all, other photographers, I looked at art, and I think to this day, like every time I come across, a moment where like, okay, what am I gonna do? Anything but boring. So I think if that's kind of like I think the best comment or critique anyone's ever told me. It was really a slap in the face, but I'm glad Zig Jackson, my first photo 101 teacher, the coolest, this big guy who's African American, told me that. So I think that's really cool. I got over it. I didn't cry or anything. Okay, so that's like the second story. No, it was like okay. Oh, and then I got an A for my final. I didn't shoot like water frozen in time or whatever. I explored self-portraiture, like all artsy, black and white. It was fun. So, la-di-da-di-da, I ended up in New York. Like, I went for soup photography. After that, like, I found, like, my passion. Like, I don't want to be a graphic designer anymore. I want to be a photographer. I'm going to move to New York City, become a photographer. So, I did that. And then, so while I was in school, I was like, I'm already here. I can't waste any time. I'm going to contact all my favorite photographers, all my favorite directors, and just like tell them that I'm here and I'm gonna work for them, I'm gonna work with them. Because like I didn't come all the way like from Bandar Baru to New York City to like, just be a student. So I would spend hours at the bookstore just like writing down editors of magazines. I would research all my favorite like artists. Like I didn't care if they were like, based in New York or not. Like at some point people have projects in New York. So I would email, people that would be based in Europe or in LA. So one of them was Floria Sigismondi, who's an amazing photographer and also director. She did like The White Stripes, Incubus, she did the Runaways. Anyway, she's amazing. And 3 weeks after I emailed her, I get an email and say, hey, Nadirah, we're actually going to shoot a commercial, and we kind of need someone on set, like just to like run errands and shoot stills. Are you going to be up for it? And I was like, of course. And like the best thing that it happened on my birthday. So it was like the best birthday present ever to, work with someone that you admire. And so I was like really excited. I go on set and I'm like taking all these, still photography. And then suddenly this kind of, the producer, I guess she was like kind of stressed out. I don't know. But she was like, and bear in mind, I was a freshman in school studying photography. That's all I wanted to do. And she was like, you. I want you to shoot behind the scene video. I'm like, huh? Video? I don't do video. I'm a photographer. And she's like, no. You, here. She handed me like this huge Sony camera. It looked like a monster. Like what the hell? Like my, film camera is like tiny. Light, whatever. And she was like, you, step to it, do it. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I grabbed it and I'm like, I figured out the on button. And I basically stepped to it and I did it. And then I shot behind the scenes and it wasn't bad. And then in that moment it taught me that it's not that hard. Like if someone asks you to do something, you figure it out. Like if it's, and especially there's like, we all have our smartphones, there's Wikipedia and YouTube for everything, and it's just common to just like, you know what, if someone can do it, I can do it too. I'm gonna step to it and do it. And just like even like this big fish thing, like, Abby, they was like, Nadia, you should come and talk, and I'm like, okay, step to it, do it, And so here I am. But I think before I wrap this whole, story, like series of stories or whatever, I think above all, I think I am who I am. I think it goes back to my mother. Like to see her, like at 44, bringing 5 kids to Texas in a like 2-room apartment and managed to take care of us while doing her PhD. Like I had no idea of her struggles back then. All I knew, I wanted to, go to Girl Scout meetings and like sell cookies from door to door. I wanted a rollerblade. I wanted to go to like swimming practices, and she never stopped me. And that was and all my other siblings, I think I had an amazing childhood. I'm now thinking back like, wow, that must be like a huge struggle for her. I never saw her suffer or anything. She made sure that we were happy, there was always food on the plate, and that we were comfortable, and that was amazing. But wait, before I add one last thing that I just remembered, 2nd grader, going to school, knowing no English, whatever, like I think by the 3rd month, parent-teacher meeting, my teacher told my mom, Nadirah is an artist, so you must understand that, and you must support her. And my mom never told me that. My teacher told me that until I got my first acceptance letter to an art school. My mom was like, Nadirah, your teacher told me that. And like I was like, wow, and no wonder she supported me from day one. All my, unlimited supplies of watercolors and, art blocks and, crayons or whatever. So like, my mom's not here, but I thank her and I thank you for listening to my story. And